Yeah, I wasn't sure. I didn't see specifically a place. I saw with the marketing one. We, $5,000 would pay the actors, and that's something that we would have to cover the time that their extended contract. So 5,000 would allow us to do it.
So in the past, when Shakespeare Theater did, with 3 weeks in Conway, I think the commission gave them around $15,000. It was pretty significant. But obviously they're restarting, so they're doing fewer shows here. The guidelines typically say that first year seed funding is allowable up to $5,000. So the decision's y'all's to make, but that's just some information might be helpful.
Pardon me for being late. Is this now a new event again?
It is, in the sense that it is no longer associated with UCA. So we have no partnership anymore with UCA. They wanted to dissolve it last fall, and so we were taking it back. It was actually never a nonprofit of its own. It was under the auspices of the UCA Foundation. So we have applied for nonprofit 501c3 status and expect to get that soon. So it is basically in a nascent form at this point, because although everyone who's involved had really an instrumental part in Arkansas Shakespeare Theater. Paige Reynolds acted in the show. She ran the dramaturgy program, the internship program. Holly Ruth acted in several performances. John was the chair of theater under AST. So a lot of really knowledgeable people in terms of bringing back what it was in large part.
And you used to do how many performances here?
Well, it varied. The first year, I think they started with 3 shows that first year. And I think it was probably like 15 performances or something like that. We were up to like 40 performances, and we toured all over the state. And it was really big right before the pandemic hit. And a lot of problems, a lot of changes. Yeah.
Would you like to go back to that travel?
And actually we're pursuing that. Hopefully it's looking good. Like we're going to go to Russellville, to the Arts Center there, and to Arkansas Governor's School students. And I've contacted Winthrop Rockefeller Institute, because I formed that partnership with them, and also Crystal Bridges. It's actually going to start at the Museum of Fine Arts. They're going to do 2 performances there. So it's, we went to so many schools, and that was it was wonderful that we were able to, we did that at a fall tour program. So, yeah.
So it's Henry the Fifth, we few, we happy few, we band of brothers, that how? Just curious. I think it's a cool deal.
I kind of almost feel like this is our child as well, because we have tried to help any way that we can. And I'd like to find a way that we can allow them as much help as we can give them. That's my opinion on this.
Well, the people involved, we are not paying ourselves. It is pure passion and, hard grit and work. So we are just trying to make sure it doesn't go away. We, on a personal note, my children grew up in this theater, and a lot of other people's, and it has really informed in so many ways, so many people's lives. And it just, in Governor's School too, I just, it was something that it's just really a mission for me to try to serve those students as well. But you have been, like the AMP was what made it happen the first year. Like without it, it would not have happened in 2007.
That's kind of the way I remember it.
Yeah, me too. Like I said, I'm a little prejudiced there, but
it's been very good for Conway. It's been very good for y'all. It's been very good for your children and getting people involved. What can we do, Mr. Chairman?
It's up
I
to.
think she spoke with seed money, the up to 5,000.
But here's my question on that. Okay, so yes, it's a new, but it's kind of on that gray area where is it new or is it kind of both?
I feel like you can consider it new because it's been gone for a couple of years. It's no longer associated with UCA. They're starting fresh. It's not like they're an established event that is using A&P money to run their bottom line, which I feel like that's the reason those, guidelines are set, is so that the same events aren't just, using the A&P to make sure that they can be profitable. That's not what they're doing.
Well, my question is if it's not new though, are we allowed to give more?
Well, she's requesting seed funding,
Right.
and so
We'll take more. We
So-
have this much in our,
I mean,
in our account
theoretically,
at the
you could do a combination of seed funding that gives them a little more flexibility in how they spend it, and advertising money, which has to be spent, strictly on advertising. It's up to y'all.
I think I put the budget as 32.5, I think, in there.
Yeah, I seen that. That's why I was asking.
Yep.
Because I did notice that she did have marketing and promotion at 2,000, which the seed money, as she stated, would cover the actors, but what about the marketing and the promotion part of it? Is there a way that we could help with that as well?
Yes, I mean, there are other organizations that you fund a combination of seed and advertising money for.
I would like to do that.
I would like to propose that.
I would like to second that.
What are we?
7,000.
Okay, 7.
2 for
I didn't hear a
marketing.
number. I didn't hear a number.
2 for marketing and then 5 for the
Just so
actors.
it's clear. I've got a motion and a second. Any more discussion?
Let's see if there's anything else that we could help with. Do you see anything on that list? We probably couldn't do the facility rental,
I mean, that $5,000 she can use
however she.
however she needs. If that's for the facility rental and, videographer, whatever, she can use it as it fits best.
Where will your other money come from, Ariel?
We have a pledge for 1,000 from Snap-on. We have an individual who's pledged another 1,000. So we don't have any money in hand at the moment, but we're actually going to do, we had a Bard Ball, which was an annual fundraiser. We are going to do that on a much smaller scale in the late May. And so that's another source. I have some other people to ask, but this was kind of the, can we make it happen or not? These are, this is a ask that is, if this happens, then we're maybe gonna have a green light. So.
What's that number from here?
I mean, like I said, we need to pay the actors, and we obviously need all of that money. I'm scrappy, so we'll get it. We'll find it. But any amount that you guys would okay is going to make all of our lives a little bit easier.
7 works.
It would be wonderful. Thank you.
That's my second motion.
More questions? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Congratulations.
Thank you so
Good
much.
start.
Very
Good
excited.
start.
Very excited.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you all.
You're welcome.
Shakespeare.
Just a little bit.
I know, sure. Yeah. You ready? Jill? Ready? Ready? Start on the finances.
All right.
Which, once again, thank you very much for sending them early so we can review. That helps.
Okay, so the first sheet is the balance sheet. We have a balance in the operating account of $1,745,633.37. Balance in the collections account of $1,100,999.61. And our CD balance is now $496,365.31. I go to the third page. In March of 2024, we are in the black, $72,337.69. Year to date, $124,412.90. As opposed to last year at this time, in March of 2024, we were at $90,511.61. And year to date last year, we were at $123,457.81. See, our interest income has increased quite a bit from last year. That's still the financials behind it, or just back up for the front packet. Anybody has any questions? I guess it was supposed to be one.
No, you're fine. I was wondering why she made a noise earlier. Now I see the list. I heard her say something. I'm like, what's wrong? I see the list. You're like, oh, that's fine.
Now I'm moving ahead a little fast here.
Oh, the one that pays attention.
Yes. Okay, you ready for the long piece of paper?
Yes, ma'am.
First two pages are just the allocation to the city and to the AMP Commission. Third page. The collections for March of 2024 were $516,123.53. $471,635.74 was the food portion of it, and $44,487.79 was hotel. It was up over last year by 4.17%, up over 2022 by 15.24%. Fourth page. After collections, we were at $19,185.38, which consisted of $15,369.42 in food and $3,815.96 in hotel. And it consists of 3.87% of total collections.
Oh, no.
Next page is collections excluding delinquents. We're at $196,938.15, which is up over last year, March of 2023, by 23.45%. Next page, Andy, you're gonna love.
I
I
just
tried to
saw
call
that.
you on this the other day. You didn't answer.
I saw it when you sent them.
I saw it.
I was like, what happened?
Congratulations.
You probably hit 50.6%.
How about that?
Are you eating a moon pie?
Absolutely. Had one yesterday. It was chocolate that side. I'm an equal opportunity moon pie.
Okay, so the Pay Simple collections, our online collections, for $250,677.60, which $217,836.12 was food tax, and $32,841.48 was hotel, and that consisted of 205 food and 42 hotels. We're at 50.6% of total collections.
Every time we talk that number.
I know, I tried to call you, Andy, to warn you about it.
Morning, man, celebrate.
I know, well, not warn you, but try to give you a reason to celebrate. Any questions?
Any questions on the financials? If, I'll take a motion.
Motion made.
Second,
I have a motion from Mike and a second from Melissa.
copy paste.
That's right.
No, you gotta fix it.
No, you gotta fix it. You gotta fix that one.
That's where it was copied and pasted last.
Well done on that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Yeah, the list is long, but I mean, it's gotta be a fluke because of, there's no 60, 90 days.
February was a short month.
Yeah,
There are only two names on this current list that were still left over from last time, which was a very short list.
very short.
So, they're not even, they'll be coming up for final notices on this next go around, but yeah, it looks like we have our work cut out for us here for the next couple of weeks, but.
Well, a lot of these are mobile food vehicles.
Mhm.
A lot of them are newer ones.
Yeah, I'll have to get with Denise about some addresses and names and what have you. Rubus, I do have a question about that one. Jill, I thought they were out in the county now.
Rubus.
Yeah, they moved out of the city limits.
When do they move out? As of November? Probably.
If not longer.
Well, we exclude Rubus from the list. The yellow one.
See, we're already on a roll.
Got $2 back.
But we will get to work on them.
I thought that, but didn't say it.
At the bottom are the
Short term.
short-term rentals from Blue House Ventures down. Two of them are our lovely friends, the Charcuterie and More and the Magic Food Fest.
And charcuterie has a court date. Seems like it's April 22nd.
I think so, sounds right.
Something like that. I am interested if anybody knows anything about Squirrel. We have question marks shut down. I don't know. You y'all know?
About the gas station? Oh, yeah.
The ones I'm familiar with are shut down.
That's the only ones I can think of.
I know they've been in the news a lot lately,
Yeah,
in negative ways.
not in a good way.
So if they are,
Yeah, two more off the list.
Getting easier in there,
It's hard trying to come in from a different direction. What's going on? Oh, okay, all right. You included me even though I wasn't here, right?
Oh, you had to be here.
Oh,
Jenny weren't here last week.
oh, okay. All right.
Give me a shot.
Share the love.
Any more questions about the delinquent list? At this time, I'll take a motion to the 30 days assessment notice.
I'll make the motion. Mix it up.
I'll second.
There you go.
Look at there.
Now you catch it.
Now I can put your name on there.
Motion is second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm gonna excuse myself. We are cleaning up the daily homeless camps today and
Good luck.
blood all over me and I need to go pick up some community service workers. Unless y'all need me for anything else.
Good job.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Miss Rachel.
Okay, well, we had a big day yesterday. Our office was selling T-shirts and handing out glasses at UCA. And this is a list that I started of all of the people who stopped at the booth to buy T-shirts. So this is not everybody that was there. This is just the people that bought T-shirts. I believe there were 23 different states plus Canada represented. So
Right.
a lot of them stayed in our hotels, and they were
The
all
Canadian
talking about
people
how
stayed in it.
expensive they were. Others had planned to be in Texas and had driven to Conway,
I'll get it later.
some yesterday, some just the night before, based on weather. I mean, for an event that is 100% dependent on the weather, we could not have been any luckier.
23 state, that's amazing.
And then at our office, they had, I think, 25 or maybe 28 different states that came in there, and they started a whiteboard and had people signing it, all the locations. We talked to a group from California that had 11 people in their group, a bunch of families, and came all the way to Conway. So that was second to the actual eclipse. That was just so fun and exciting from a tourism standpoint to see all of those people in our community. They all had positive things to say about our town. Everybody loved the downtown area. They all had questions about the toads everywhere and why is the toad on that shirt and what does that mean? So from a tourism standpoint, I thought it was a great day. I know some of the restaurants, like Mike, we were talking about, were disappointed in some of their numbers, but I honestly think a lot of that is because everyone local was kind of scared into staying home,
I think so too.
which I hate that.
Yeah.
And I tried to tell people, you know, this is going to be a great size, a good fun event, but it's just hard to combat some of that negative perception that was out there. But I will say all of our visitors had a great experience, and that's all we can do.
Sunday night was the busiest Sunday night we've done in years.
That's great.
Yes, and what I heard, it was about 90% people from out of town, so I thought that was.
And I've heard that
Yeah.
from other restaurants too, from coworkers who were in Stobie's for brunch Saturday morning, said every table there was from out of state except for 2.
Wow.
So that, and I know Rogue Roundabout was keeping tabs of where people had traveled from, and they were full of people from out of state. So it's just a really cool story. And of the 25,000 eclipse glasses that we ordered, we were left with 125,
Wow.
which I was also very proud of because UCA dropped about 400 off at our office yesterday or the day before because they were trying to get rid of all of theirs. So I feel good about the number that we ordered and the money that was spent on that. I guess now moving on to other things, that occupied a considerable amount of my time over the past month, as I'm sure you all expected.
Last year and a half.
Yes, that's true. I have been talking with 3v3 Live, which is a soccer event that has been here for maybe 5 years this year. They are planning to come back August 3rd through 4th. I wrote down the 5th, but I believe it's 3rd and 4th. They have 500 players already signed up, and in the past, we have given them $3,000 from event incentive, and so I told them that we could support them in that way again this year. It was in the budget. Next Thursday, we have a group of city clerks coming. There should be 35 or 40 of them. I'll lead them on a walking tour downtown, and then they'll have dinner at Mike's place, and then they'll be in our building meeting all day Friday. I had purchased a e-newsletter ad through Arkansas Tourism, and I provided them with that content. Recently had to update it some to reflect the dry Lake Conway. There are still some fishable areas, and Game and Fish says you can fish it until they're dry. So tried to let people know that. Back to the eclipse. I did an interview with THV 11 last Thursday, I believe, and they came to the office and, you know, interviewed me about the eclipse and what Conway was doing and showed that on their morning show. So that was fun. I got an email last week from Freedom Fest letting me know that in the past, City Church had owned that event and the commission had awarded them $3,000 for advertising, but the city has decided to take over running of that event, and the City Church person wanted to know if the AMP would give the city $3,000. And I said, well, no, I mean, that is their money, so we're not gonna write them a check. I said, but, and Felicia was copied on these emails, I said, if the city would like help promoting that event, we can help promote it for them, but we're not going to write them back $3,000 of their taxes. So I don't think they understood how that worked. But so that's $3,000 that will not come out of your funding budget, but that will instead spend in advertising in some way. And I think that's really, those are the high points of the past month. It was a lot of eclipse. So, one other thing I was going to show, I got a sports intelligence report from Due North Consulting, which is a online source that we do advertising through. And we received 55,000 Google impressions by device. So 53% were from a tablet, 45% were mobile, and a very small percentage were desktop. But that's 55,000 pairs of eyes that saw an ad about sports tourism in Conway. So I felt good about that. Any questions?
All right.
It's been a busy month, and next month should be just as busy, but in a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so parks, the last couple of weeks, we've taken off due to Easter and the eclipse. But the remaining weekends this month, we've got baseball and softball filling it back up. So we're looking to get our parks busy again. Other than that, we had Bella Rustina out at the expo this past weekend through the eclipse on, I guess yesterday. Arkansas Mission of Mercy, the free dental clinic, is out there this weekend, so that'll be a big one. And then Build My Future is a new thing where we're having high school students come in. There's going to be about 1,400 of them to visit with companies and just talk about jobs and trades and stuff. So that'll be April 18th. The Tacos for Life, Feed My Starving Children mobile pack is this month. Other than that, the Conway Regional Adult Classic at the Tennis Center is April 26th and 28th.
Well done. Sounds good. That's good.
And before we meet again, we will have had Toad Suck, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's coming up back. You'll feel
I
fine.
know. Oh, yeah, that.
Oh, that'd been about
That's-
100,000.
Yeah, you're a month out.
Mhm.
Less than a month out.
Less than a month now,
Mhm.
so. And that is also UCA graduation that weekend, as is normal, so.
Always falls.
We feel the medication.
Get you happy, Bill. Get you happy.
I am curious to see have you heard from any of the hotels on how they did?
So I'd been sending out emails, I'm sure you saw, checking, like, let me know how your bookings are looking. Some responded, some didn't. Most people were, I would say, at about 85 to 90% booked a week out. And I did hear some that said they had several cancellations like a week or so ago, and then got new bookings as it got closer. I heard people saying that they were staying at, maybe a hotel they wouldn't have normally stayed at any other time, but that all the rates were expensive. But I also heard from other people that they were intending to go to X city in Texas, but that they almost felt like they were being priced out of going there because prices were so inflated, charging $100 for parking. Everybody's trying to make a buck where they can, which I can appreciate, but yes, charging for glasses, just a lot of things that we were willing to give away for free. Even like the vendors that were at UCA yesterday, they had asked the chamber and Toad Suck to help set those up. We didn't charge any of those vendors because we couldn't guarantee they would have a crowd because we knew it was all weather dependent. So all that to say, I think most of the hotels were mostly booked up from what people told me. I didn't hear of anyone saying, no, we're dead.
Well, I have 9 properties.
Right.
So I have a variety of different areas that I can compare against.
Yeah, so tell us.
And I have to say that Conway did the best.
That's awesome.
Topped Little Rock, topped Benton, topped Bryant.
Good.
So I was explaining earlier, kind of like the property here in Conway has 87 rooms. So if she is really pushing rate, the max that she generally will make will be 12,000, and that's really pushing it for one night. And Friday we were all panicking because everybody, Little Rock, every city had really bad Friday nights. So we never dropped our rate. We kept our rate high at all of our places. And so Holiday Inn was doing really good. So she really didn't want to drop, whereas we were pulling some down in some of the other cities, just a little bit down.
Sure.
She did not fill up either night. However, I will say how many rooms she rented. She rented, I could not wait till today to talk about this.
I'd be curious too.
This is the data I
props. Okay, she has 87 rooms. Sunday night, she rented 61 rooms. 61.
26 of
And her revenue was over $23,000.
Wow.
Her ADR, which is the average daily rate for those 61 rooms, was $391. Her RevPAR, which would be the amount of revenue for 87 rooms, was $274. The closest property that came to her was in West Little Rock with 16 and 17,000, and they have more rooms.
That's awesome. We can expect to see a big uptick in
Now-
hotel collections.
Now, last night, so we figured a lot of people would be going home. No. Again, Holiday Inn top dogged everybody again. And last night, they generated over 16,000 last night.
That's great.
And the top under them was almost 11,000.
Wow.
So
Right.
that tells you a lot right
That's a
there.
big night.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations.
And those again were Little Rock and Benton
Mm-hmm.
at 11. So
We will know June, the sales tax receipt, total sales tax receipts. And
Yeah.
I'm very interested to see what those
Yes.
numbers look like.
yeah.
Uh,
Now,
look those
it's
out.
not always apples to apples because you have some properties that have a lot more rooms.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it'll be easier for them to generate.
Mm-hmm.
But for the average, typical hotels generally range from 79, 80 to right at 90 generally. So that was pretty good.
I think this is right. Usually our months where sales tax is collected in a certain month is reported the next month and is back to us the following month. So that's why I say in June, we should, at least the city should see how we actually did. And I think that number is going to be very good. We'll see.
And I also think the fact that so many different states were involved, so many different people came from so many areas, while that's not instant gratification, it is long-term reputation.
Right.
And I see that, I think Conway had a win.
Well,
Conway had a
The
win.
state of Arkansas.
You're right.
I hung out-
the state of Arkansas.
The state of Arkansas.
I hung out at the hotel and I'd made all the managers, I got mooned in Arkansas shirts. I blacked out in Conway, Arkansas, with the state in the background. And guests were loving them. In fact, some guests were like, can you please make me some shirts? And I was like, there's no way I can have them ready by the eclipse. We're staying till Wednesday. This morning. So,
That's
just,
excellent.
they were so awesome. And the Canadian people, which I'm sure there was several people here from Canada, but some were staying at Holiday Inn. nicest people in the world. And then we all had this little watch party outside yesterday, and it was just great to watch everybody just kind of come together.
Cool.
Like you were talking about,
Yeah.
and just, get to know more than just, do you want a room? And what problem do you have now?
Sure.
So it was a completely different atmosphere. So a huge kudos to Ruth Lively and my son, Wes Flowers. So,
I am, I tend to measure attendance at events and football games that I've attended in the past. Anywhere from 70,000 to 100,000 people in a small area. Well, we had, I don't know how many people were here, but we had a 115-mile wide area, the width of this state, for people to spread out in. So I think that the traffic was not as bad as people had anticipated, but it's because it was spread over a very large area. And so anyway.
and everybody was panicking about the traffic because my husband works at Smith Ford and they shut down because they were worried about the traffic. And I kept trying to tell him, that's not going to happen. And he was like, well, I'm not telling them because I get a free day off. I'm just going to let them think about whatever they want to think about.
You just told.
Yeah. So in one ear.
Well, I issued a mobile vendor permit this month. Those have slowed down a lot. It seems like the farther we get away from the pandemic, the fewer mobile vendor permits we're issuing. Either that or we're just saturated, I don't know, mobile vendors. 2 regular A&P permits, Southern Smoke Barbecue and Arkansas Golf Center. And 2 short-term rentals, 1117 Donaghy and at 2130 Maplewood Drive, for a total of 5 A&P permits, new ones this month.
Still no Whataburger.
No,
But that building's going up fast.
yeah, that's strange because normally.
Whataburger, it's driving me crazy they haven't got it yet.
I don't really.
I mean, it's going up very quickly.
It is, yeah.
Not yet.
Snooze you lose, they'll be in trouble.
Huh.
Well, we already talked to Arkansas Shakespeare Theater. So, Travis, Felicia let me know the other day that Travis's term was up on May 31st. And so I let him know if he would like to roll off, basically now's the time. But if he would like to stay, then that is, up to the commission to approve that. But the city wanted to put a notice out by April 15th. So they wanted the commission to make a decision today as to, so I left that up to Travis.
I mean, I can
What do you
roll or
wanna do?
stay.
I think you did a
Would
great
like to
job.
have you stay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Stop.
I didn't know if there's a term limit. I know it's like 4 years, right? But I'm talking about a consecutive amount of
We
terms.
use the presidential like 82, 84 or something.
I won't be here the next clips, all right? 25 years.
I think that there is a rule about how many consecutive
Consecutive
terms you can
terms.
serve.
Yeah. And Felicia should be able to give you that
But
information.
I know that Jeremy Gardner served
Yeah.
Reggie.
more than you have and Reggie, so
Yeah.
whatever that limit is, you were not there yet.
I
It's
will
not a
make a
goal.
formal motion for
second.
Travis to stay.
I'll third.
Thank you. I won't see y'all in May though.
Now, what kind of guy is that?
Oh, back out there.
If that's gonna be the, no, I might be back. May 13th?
Yes.
It is May
Yes.
I'll be
13th.
back.
Mhm.
Well, at this time, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right.
Did we take a vote on that? other-
Oh, we did not
We
take a
did not
vote on
take a
it.
vote on that.
I think it was unanimous, we just
It-
didn't
it
do it by
was.
vote.
One.
On you staying.
On you staying?
All
I have a
in favor
motion.
of Travis to stay?
Aye.
Thank you.
All
Everyone in the
opposed?
room.
Ayes have it.